I'm outside the Pollokshaws Parish Church, as you can see behind me, which was the church that was destroyed in a fire over the weekend in the wee small hours. There's the fire been started, and this is what we're left with. I've spoke to some of the guys from the Church of Scotland's building department, health and safety and structural stuff, and they are unfortunately under the impression that this is beyond savable. And that is disturbing for a building that is over 180 years of age, has got a lot of historical significance, and has been used, despite some reports that we'll cover in a second, has been used extensively through all the community here for different things for children, churches, adults, and now is left in rubble. And I say that because 3 people that I've spoke to, the first woman that when I got out of the car, when I was speaking to her, a local resident, was most disgusted that some news outlets had described this building as derelict. And as if that didn't, make it worthy at all of saving, and it wasn't really a big story because this building had been derelict. That's not the case. That is simply not true. This place, and I've just been speaking to some of the men from the Church of Scotland, moderator level, etc., and they've been telling me about, there's 2 different congregations would be here that have got a minister here. They've got community things for children, and most days this building has been utilised. Now, there are a church hall just to the left of the building here. I'm going to go around there in a minute just to look at that. That wasn't adjoined to this building, and apparently that has not been damaged at all, which is good because hopefully that can still be used. But what I was wondering was, where are our politicians? Because if you remember the Peacehaven Mosque, which had an attempted arson attack, which the damage to the building was even less than the front door in this building, if you just look at the door, and the car, they looked like the perpetrators, that was damaged, but the building was fine. And within hours, our politicians were telling us how terrible this was. It was Islamophobic, it was attacks on communities. And within days, the local MP was at the building, which had no historical significance. It looked like a unit in an industrial estate. And this is a B-listed building. That wasn't. Within days, the local MP was there during prayers, who's a non-Muslim, to show some solidarity with the community. And within weeks, our Prime Minister and Mahood were both there, and they pledged £10 million to help protect those buildings. Now, obviously, it's too early at this stage to understand fully what happened in this building behind me. However, through speaking to the people who have been inside the building, and have got far more knowledge than me, the police are investigating this. The police don't investigate electrical fires. Now, it is too early to say whether this was a deliberate act or not, but suggestions would have us point towards that. And I just wonder where our politicians are. I've been down here now for about 20 minutes. I've spoke to 2 or 3 people from the Church of Scotland. I've spoke to 2 local residents. And I can't see Keir Starmer. Tell me, who has spoke about this? And the guy from I can't remember the title, Health and Safety, Structural, it was from the building part of the Church of Scotland. This is the 2nd church in a matter of months that has been damaged in similar fashion, in Glasgow alone. Now, I tried to look today since the Labour government took control at the election. And although there's been several, there's been at least 6 at this sort of level of fires in churches, Christian churches. I can find 0 comments from anybody high up in the Labour Party talking about anything like the way we heard when there was, in one weekend there was 2 mosques with attempted arsons. There was practically 0 damage. There was a bit of scalding in a door and a wheelie bin melted. That was it in one of them, and the other one didn't even get near the building. But our politicians were up in arms with this. It's Islamophobic without even anybody. I don't think one of them, even anybody's been arrested yet, and certainly nobody's been found guilty in a court of law. But they were wanting to tell the whole world that these were Islamophobic times and we must protect this community. The people who use this church, are they not worth. Now, I know, before talking to people here, there was a congregation of African worshippers who used this church. So this isn't even just a race thing. This building has been used. I mean, I'm in Pollokshaws, and for any of you who know Pollokshaws, it is quite a diverse, if not one of the most diverse places on the south side of Glasgow, and has been for some time. And this building, although it is a Church of Scotland building, it welcomed people from cross-community. You can't say that about a lot of buildings that politicians want to make a big fuss about when they're not burnt down. These buildings are not cross-community. This building was, despite some wishing to tell you that it was derelict. And I find that pretty disgusting and worrying that anybody would describe this building as derelict. It's derelict now, but it wasn't derelict last week. There was a congregation with a service here the Sunday before. Obviously, that didn't happen this Sunday. They didn't have a church to have a congregation in. But this was a supported and utilised building that some people want to tell us is derelict, not used, and for somehow that makes it doesn't really matter. The other strange thing about this, if you look around, this area is very modern. There's been a lot of development here. And this building was the last and oldest building that survived quite a lot of redevelopment around here. And I just hope that that's had nothing to do with the outcome and its fate, because this will no longer be here. I would imagine not long into the new year, this facade, it's about the only part of the building that remains intact, but when you look at it after talking to the building specialist, you can see signs that it's actually bowing and not flat and level. It's starting to show signs that it simply is not safe. So this building will be pulled down, and that'll be the oldest remaining building in this quite modern part of our city. Will no longer be here, and I just hope that that's got nothing to do with it. And I used to be a believer that stuff like that would never happen in our communities, but I've woke up certainly over the last 2 years. And if somebody somewhere just didn't want this building here for whatever reason, religious, monetary, the rest of the community, and it might be some conspiracy. I'm not going to discount this stuff anymore, and that's me without being a conspiracy theorist. So it's distressing, it's upsetting, and I feel two things badly. The way that some in the media have reported this as a derelict building, and the severe lack of politicians with any sort of outcry at any sort of level about what happened in Glasgow this weekend. So if you want others to see the video, please hit the thumbs up, put your comments below, and hit the share button. If you think you have, or you've not already done so, double check the subscribe button. And if you're not subscribed or have miraculously become unsubscribed, please hit the subscribe button. But more important than all that, unless you're the type of person who only gets upset when certain religious buildings are attacked and burnt down, then not you. But everyone else, have a great day. Cheery bye now.